I'm Tom Baker, this is Chasing Cars, and this is everything you need to know about the new Lexus LX 600 and LX 500D. The release of any new Lexus LX is a momentous occasion. This luxurious version of the Toyota Land Cruiser only comes around once every decade and a half on average, so a new one is a big deal, and that's what we've seen today, the new J300 LX, available again in two flavors, a petrol and a diesel, but their badge numbers have been rather inflated. So the LX 600 for the new 3.5 litre twin-turbo V6 petrol, and the LX 500D, which shares the Australian specification of the Land Cruiser's 3.3 litre twin-turbo V6 diesel. While a cynic might look at the new LX and say, what new LX? Because the exterior design is so evolutionary, it's actually inside where this full-size luxury four-wheel drive comes along in leaps and bounds. While the old Lexus LX was, no slouch in terms of the luxury it provided, it was starting to feel just a little bit dated in the cabin. That's no longer the case for the new J300 LX, which takes a big step forward, even if the exterior design is more about refinements of the current shape. In fact, the wheelbase is exactly the same as the outgoing 200 series based LX. The wheelbase might be identical, but there have been some pretty big changes under the skin. Like the new Land Cruiser, the new LX rides on the Toyota Motor Corporation's TNGA-F platform for body-on-frame. Now, many components do carry across from the old 200 series, but about as many have also changed, and rigidity steps up massively by 20%, which is a significant improvement on a frame vehicle. That should give the new LX much better steering and body control, and we look forward to testing it when it arrives in Australia sometime in 2022. Now, basically everything about this platform has been stiffened, which should help, but classic LX features like hydraulic suspension with active height control and adaptive dampers carry across to this vehicle, and being based on a Land Cruiser, there is inherent off-roading ability baked into the LX. Now, Lexus have revealed that it can climb 45-degree angles. They haven't given us approach, breakover, and departure angles yet, but wading depth is 700 millimeters for this vehicle. A raft of improvements to the chassis underneath the LX mean it's actually more than 100 kilograms lighter than the outgoing LX 570 and LX 450D based on the 200 series platform, and that should make the new LX feel quite sprightly actually. Now, while both of its engines are V6s, they're both twin turbocharged and they're pretty new. So the petrol choice, the LX 600, that grabs the twin-turbo 3.5 litre V6 petrol out of the Lexus LS 500 limousine. Now, the number has been pumped up to LX 600 here, but it makes 305 kilowatts of power and 650 newton meters of torque from its direct injected motor. The diesel, on the other hand, it shares the same tune of the 3.3 litre twin-turbo diesel as the new 300 series Land Cruiser here in Australia, meaning power is 227 kilowatts, torque is a stout 700 newton meters. Now, Lexus Australia are not ready to reveal which of these engines are coming to Australia. At least one of them will be. My personal bet would be that both the petrol and the diesel will make a return. Now, the diesel LX, that was pretty much just for Australia in the first place. So the fact that Lexus have today confirmed there'll be a new diesel LX means it's pretty much a shoo-in for Australia. But the petrol absolutely has its own niche, particularly because you can no longer buy a petrol-powered Toyota-badged Land Cruiser here in Australia. Both of those engines share a new 10-speed torque converter auto and four-wheel drive with a low-range transfer case. Now, while the exterior design is more evolution than revolution, there is quite a big change in that you'll now be able to specify the athletic F Sport grade on the Lexus LX. Pretty much every other car in the Lexus lineup has an available F Sport. The LX hasn't to this point, so instead, we've received special edition S cars in the LX lineup in the past that have had bigger wheels and a more imposing grille. There'll now be a running F Sport model sitting within the range. There'll also be a VIP specification, which is all about the interior. We don't know if the VIP will come to Australia because the LX has always been a little bit more pragmatic than super luxurious for our market. This car really appeals in the Middle East, it appeals in Russia, where the market demographic is probably a little bit different in terms of tastes to these sort of Australians who buy the LX, particularly the diesel, which is popular with grey nomads. But still, we'll see if the ultra lush 4-seat VIP LX does come down under. Either way, there's rich leather coating almost every surface in the interior of the new LX, and it borrows the Tizuna interior design concept from the new Lexus NX midsize SUV that is also due to be released in Australia in early 2022. It's quite different from the underlying 300 series Land Cruiser in here, and it also debuts the new dual display concept for Lexus. So you get a top 12.3-inch screen, but you also get a 7-inch screen beneath it, allowing you to see the multi-terrain camera, but also off-roading data at the same time. Or in on-road driving, you can have your navigation and your climate controls all visible at once. Now, some people obviously prefer physical buttons and knobs. I really count myself among them, but it is good to be able to see more data happening at the one time. Now, if you go for the F Sport, you also get a perforated leather steering wheel, but individual color and trim combinations, we'll wait and see for Australia, but this gorgeous tan leather, I think there's a good bet that will be coming for our market. Importantly, for a big bus, the LX also cops a safety upgrade with the new Lexus Safety System Plus suite standard on this vehicle. That includes pedestrian and cyclist detection for the AEB, plus junction AEB as well, a whole host of lane keeping systems. Additionally, things like traffic sign recognition are baked into that heads-up display that you'll also be getting as standard. So that's a first look at the new Lexus LX full-size four-wheel drive. That'll be coming here to Australia in 2022, likely in petrol and diesel, though final specifications are yet to be determined. What do you think of this luxurious iteration of the Land Cruiser? Let me know down below this video in the comments. While you're there, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell. And as always, thanks for watching Chasing Cars.